Have you ever sat in a room, completely quiet, knowing that someone miles away is telling a completely fabricated story about you? You didn't fight back. You didn't hire a public relations team. You didn't blast them on social media. You just walked away and let them talk. And for a long time, it felt like they won. It felt like the people you used to care about actually believed the narrative. You had to sit with the extreme discomfort of being misunderstood, painted as the villain, and alienated. But there is a major shift happening right now in the unseen realm, and it is going to bleed into your physical reality very soon. The smear campaign they built against you, the heavy, complicated lie they constructed to ruin your reputation. It is collapsing, and someone on the inside is about to expose it. Today, we are going to look at the exact psychology of why smear campaigns always have an expiration date. We need to talk about what happens when a toxic person's lie gets too heavy for them to carry, and why the people who bought into their fake story are suddenly waking up with a massive psychological hangover. Let's break down the anatomy of the lie they told about you. When a manipulator, a narcissist, or a highly toxic family member loses control over you, they go into a state of sheer panic. You set a boundary. You said no. You stopped playing your assigned role in their dysfunctional play. To a toxic person, your independence is perceived as a lethal threat. Since they can no longer control your actions, they have to instantly pivot to controlling how other people perceive you. So, they build a lie. They run to everyone in your circle, friends, coworkers, family members, and they play the victim. They twist the timeline. They use half-truths to make you look unstable, aggressive, or selfish. And here is the painful truth. Initially, it works. People believe them. Why? Because the toxic person is highly skilled at performing distress. They know exactly how to push the empathy buttons of the people around them. But this is where the manipulator made a fatal miscalculation. Truth is a standalone structure. It doesn't need a foundation. It just exists. A lie, however, is a full-time job. It requires constant maintenance. The toxic person has to remember exactly what they told to whom. They have to keep performing the role of the victim every single day. They have to constantly monitor the group chat to make sure nobody is figuring out the inconsistencies. And frankly, they are getting exhausted. Here is the psychological aha moment that changes everything. The manipulator is currently trapped in the very cage they built for you. Think about it. They convinced everyone that you were the problem. So when you left, the environment should have become peaceful, right? If you were the toxic one, your absence should have brought harmony to the family, the friend group, or the workplace. But it didn't. Because you were actually the shock absorber. You were the one taking the hits, keeping the peace, and managing the dysfunction. With you gone, the toxic person's true nature has nowhere to hide. They are still miserable. They are still creating drama. They are still looking for someone to blame. And the people around them, the flying monkeys, the enablers, the bystanders who believed the lie, are starting to notice. There is a specific cognitive dissonance happening right now in the minds of the people who betrayed you. They are looking at the toxic person and thinking, wait a minute, the person we blamed is gone. So why is everything still a mess? The math isn't adding up. The manipulator is slipping up. They are getting sloppy with their stories. They are projecting their own toxic traits onto someone else in the group now, because they always need a scapegoat. And the person they are targeting now is suddenly realizing exactly what was done to you. Someone is about to break ranks. Someone who had a front row seat to the lie is connecting the dots, and the guilt is eating them alive. They realize they participated in the psychological execution of an innocent person. And to clear their own conscience, they are going to speak up. The house of cards is about to catch a gust of wind. So, what is your assignment in this moment? What does a chosen one do when the universe is about to clear their name? Absolutely nothing. Do not lift a finger. Do not check their social media. Do not start preparing a speech for when they inevitably reach out to apologize. One of the hardest lessons you will ever learn on your spiritual journey is that God's vindication does not require your participation. If you try to force the truth out, you get in the way. If you start calling people to say, "I told you so," you pull yourself right back into their low-frequency mud. You have elevated. You don't live in that neighborhood anymore. When the truth comes out, and it will, you might get a text message. You might get an email from someone saying, "I am so sorry. I finally see what they were doing. I understand now." When that happens, you do not owe them an emotional reunion. You do not have to let them back into your inner circle just because they finally opened their eyes. They chose to believe a lie about you because it was comfortable for them. They participated in your isolation. You can forgive them from a distance, but you do not have to give them a front row seat to your life ever again. Your silence while you were being dragged through the mud was not weakness. It was extreme, highly disciplined strength. You let them build their own gallows. You let them dig their own trap. And now, you get to watch from a place of total peace as they fall directly into it. You survived the isolation. You survived the character assassination. And you came out cleaner, sharper, and more grounded than ever before. The lie is expiring. The truth is taking the stand. Rest in that. I really want to hear from you on this one. Have you ever stepped away and watched a toxic group completely turn on each other because they didn't have you to blame anymore? What happened when the truth finally came out? Leave your story in the comments. Your testimony is proof to someone else that they don't need to fight back to win. Make sure to subscribe to the community if this brought you peace today, and I'll catch you in the next one.